This video is brought to you by StarCharge, the largest EV charging manufacturer in the world. They are also a provider of residential and commercial battery storage with microgrid solutions. This video is also brought to you by Kempower, the reliable, quick, and scalable EV charging solution for everyone and everywhere. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video, and welcome to another video featuring the Tesla Cybertruck. In this video, we're going to find out just how far it goes on a charge in our typical 70 mile per hour highway loop style range test. I'll be full charging the Cybertruck here on a version 3 Tesla Supercharger, again up to 100%. We're going to jump on the toll road here in Austin, drive at 70 miles an hour in a loop style, ending here or maybe even ending near here on the side of the road, because my plan is to run the Cybertruck from full until it stops moving. I have a truck on standby with the tow strap and even another truck on standby with a trailer with a winch, because I want to know how much energy we can actually get out of this battery pack. So this is a range test and capacity test of the Tesla Cybertruck. Full send, 70 miles an hour to the wheels stop moving. Let's go find out what happens. You guys join me and some of my creator friends in the car. We have James, Drew, Tesla Flex, and of course, so many other creators we've been hanging out today, just checking out this truck and all of the other Cybertrucks we've been playing around with here in the greater Austin, Texas area. And there's so much to get into on the Cybertruck, hours worth of content. But in this video, I really just want to focus on talking about the outright range of this particular one. Now, in this video, you're going to be joining just me in the car. It'll be a solo person like we run every test. We're going to use our standardized procedures, but it's important to note that I have to run another one in Colorado at elevation for us to compare the results to the other vehicles we've tested. You see, here in Austin, we are actually at, what is our elevation? Wake up, come on. Why doesn't it tell me? We're at, here we go, 753 feet of elevation. Where we normally run our range tests, we're at 5,300 feet of elevation. So this is still technically a loop style highway 70 mile per hour test, but of course, yeah, we got to run it in Colorado again is all I'm saying. What a shame. So I'll walk you through a little bit about the Cybertruck in terms of the pertinent info for this one, and then we're going to jump on the highway and run 70 miles per hour. And of course, if you're interested in watching the entire thing, I should have a live stream of this entire trip so you can see exactly what happened. Well, it is almost midnight here in the Austin, Texas area, and I have a freaking Cybertruck for all of the tests. We're going to be doing range test, charging test, and 10% challenge all tonight, and it's starting at 11:17 p.m. I need the roads empty. I need the truck basically empty, so I'm kicking the guys out. They're Ubering back to the hotel, and I'm going to be doing all the stuff. So what is this Cybertruck? This, of course, if you watched any of the previous videos, this is a Foundation Series, an early truck, dual motor. That means it has a permanent magnet rear motor and an induction front motor, about 600 horsepower, 4.1 seconds, 0 to 60 plus or minus. And it's been truly awesome to drive and experience and play around with. I have a full in-depth driving review, a full in-depth tour, and plenty of other videos on this one. It is an 800 volt system architecture running with the 4680 battery pack. Those are the cell dimensions. And however, when we're charging it on the Supercharger, we're actually only using high 300 volt range. We're going to see what it comes up to fully charged, and of course I'll be analyzing the charging in an upcoming video. But the pack actually splits pack and charges 2 different battery packs in parallel, and this is actually a pretty good charging session I'm having, considering all of the concern with the Cybertruck. I was expecting worst case of about 100 kilowatts at 50%, which for those of you who know charging curves and know pretty big battery packs, that's abysmal. But I was actually getting about 125 kilowatts at 50%. So I'm really looking forward to doing the charge testing after the range testing, so I can log the curve, log everything, and then see how Tesla adjusts this through software over time. So let me walk you through the testing procedures. We're gonna charge it up to 100, hit the road, and see how far it goes on a charge. Of course, whenever we're doing an out of spec range test, it's important that we get the truck set up in the most efficient setting, but we always run 70 miles per hour. That means that the automatic tonneau cover is going to be closed. And you can see here, I can open it all the way and I can close it all the way right here. So that is gonna be in the shut position. I also have the trailer plate mounted on there, and of course juicing it up to 100%, warming up the battery pack through this DC charging. It's been preconditioned, the battery's at the optimal temperature, and we are going up to 100. I set the tire pressures when cold only a few hours ago. Of course, I've been driving, so they've come up, but the Cybertruck recommends 50 PSI. This is the 20-inch all-terrain option on the Goodyear OE tires, and it's a really cool tire, really cool truck, and overall, you know, just absolutely different than anything else. But the powertrain feels very Tesla, the data feels very Tesla, and what I'm really curious about is the highway range. You see, Tesla put in, I would argue, the smallest battery possible to get somewhere in that high 200, low 300 mile range real world. And what I was hoping for from an electric pickup truck as someone who tows with my Rivian and uses them on long trips and wants to use them as a truck was a lot more range. Now, all the Tesla people are about to comment, well, Kyle, don't forget about the range extender that goes in the bed of the Cybertruck. And I haven't forgotten about it, but also it doesn't exist at the moment. You can't buy it right now, so it doesn't exist. Again, on this channel, we don't buy into hype. We don't buy into future promise. We want to review what's available now on the market. And that range extender, boy, it just feels very un-Tesla and very uncool. Don't take any of my criticisms, by the way, as trying to put Tesla down or to be rude in any way whatsoever. I'm really fortunate that I have the opportunity to test this truck and enjoy it and play around with it. However, it is important that I show you the good and the bad of every vehicle that I test, and it is not going to be any different here with the Tesla Cybertruck. And again, I don't know what to expect from the range, but I promise I'm going to use all the buffer below zero. I'm going to give this thing every last shot that I can. I'll be running it in the lowest suspension that it allows me to drive. There's no necessarily eco mode, but we'll be running it, again, in the most efficient settings where we still keep climate control on with temperature adjustments at 68 degrees auto or so. We'll be cruising along. I'll be live streaming it. And man, so the plan for the test is full charge it, pull out of here, get up to 70 miles an hour, loop style test to counteract any wind or elevation. And thankfully there's almost no wind tonight whatsoever. It's very still, 1 or 2 miles an hour at the most. You can see the trees are just dead. It is quite chilly. It's not optimal conditions. We could always make the truck go farther, but this is the first range test of many to come on the Cybertruck. And I have no idea what to expect. But trust me, I'm looking forward to it just as much as you guys are. Let's do it. We are sitting here charging up. We're doing 78 kilowatts at 66%. And by this point, we just checked in service mode. The battery pack is warmed up. So I have a feeling this is pretty close to being accurate for the charging curve. But again, after this range test, I'll be logging a full curve. I'm just downloading a little update here. It's not really for the software of the truck, just for a map update, but it's mostly to stop all y'all from saying, oh, you're not on the newest software update. Don't worry, it's just for the maps. We're good. And yep, this thing will be fully updated, ready to rip, ready to rock and roll at the time of this recording here at the, I don't even know where we are, HEB gas station, charging up at the Supercharger. We are now at 91%. We have the live stream ripping, and you can see here at 91%, we are at 405 volts of, pack voltage under charging. So at probably 400, maybe 390 without the 130 amps going into it. But keep in mind, we're running in the banked charging mode in the parallel setting. When we unplug, it will actually double the voltage and go to around 800 volts here at 91%, which means maybe 810, 820 fully charged would be my guess. You can see the battery's nice and warm, looking great, and all is ready to rock and roll. So we're gonna let this thing complete. It says 30 minutes to top charge. I hope Tesla does work on some of those improvements in the charging curve. But again, whatever happens above 90% isn't so important to me. What happens between 0 and 70%, that's a lot more important for towing and stuff like that. So, yep, shouldn't be long now. Hopefully by just after midnight, we'll be able to start this test. Let's send it. You join me at the Supercharger where the guys have left. They got picked up in a Model 3 Uber and they are off. The live stream is ripping at the moment and we are at 99% doing 15 kilowatts, and it's reached the point where it's going to do that top calculation, sort of top BMS calibration that Teslas always do. And in some Teslas, I've seen this take as long as an hour, and some I've seen it take just 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know how long this one will take, but we're gonna let it go until it completes, and we're gonna run it till the truck pretty much dies or even dies completely. We'll see what happens. We'll see how close I can get back. While this is happening, I'm doing this in the middle of the night in Austin. Let's close the door here. I just want to see roughly the route that we're gonna take. And I wanna take the toll road, this 130 road, because I think this is gonna give us the best range, especially if we come down here to 10, and then it looks like we'll be able to flip around on this roundabout here, I believe. Whoop, whoop, and then back up to 130. So this is roughly where we want to be. Looks like it's 63 miles one direction. So we'll loop a couple times. And again, I'm doing this in the middle of the night without traffic. And then, yeah, we want to know we're supercharging at, just so I can remember for my return, we have to start and end at the same point. At the Supercharger in Hutto, I believe is how you say it. 11 of 12 stalls available because we're the only one here at the moment. So that is the plan. We are juicing up to full. We are going to come back here, loop around until the truck pretty much dies. And when it does die, I have a truck and a trailer waiting to load this thing onto, and I have a truck with a tow strap as well. And actually the tow strap's powering the live stream right now because all the HEB suction cups kind of sucked. So this is what we're working with here tonight in the Cybertruck. Dual motor, all-wheel drive. Now we just have to wait till it hits 100% and hit the road. And I know it's going to take a while because we're still at 13 kilowatts and it was predicting another 10 minutes. I'm just going to run in, pee really quick, maybe grab a water, and then we'll hit the road. So I got to go real quick because I don't want this thing to complete and not hit 100%. If it does, worst case, I'll drive it down a little bit and then re-top charge it. But if I'm quick enough, I should be able to catch it before it completes. So I'm going to leave you guys, the live stream viewers here. I'm going to keep climbing on. And the reason I'm doing that is if it tries to top balance in, I actually want a little bit of load on the battery so that I can bring it all the way up. And right here I go to keep. There's also dog mode, which is just an amazing feature, and camp mode. Really love that here about this particular one. And yes, tow charging it is certainly an option at the end of this test that we are prepared for. So okay, let me run in. I'll be real quick. Okay, I just ran in and peed and ran back, literally ran in, and we're at 46 degrees outside. We're at 99%. The truck's predicting 317 miles of EPA rated range is what this number shows. Again, everyone's going to say, isn't it 340 miles? The answer is this one's on the all-terrain tires, which means it gets less range than the all-season tires that Tesla marketed the truck with that are not available to purchase at the moment. So 318 miles, I believe, is, yep, full charge. That's what this is indicating. That's what all the numbers, all the folks were suggesting online. So 318 miles on a full charge. I don't know what it's going to do in the real world, but certainly I'm going to give it every chance it's got. But of course, it's, again, we're at lower elevation. It's cold outside. It's not perfect conditions. Consider it a pretty cold weather highway range test on this particular one. And by this particular one, I've been saying that so much, it's driving me nuts. I mean this particular test. I'm just going through and getting the settings all set. So we're going to be running low fan, or, you know, there's low, medium, high settings for auto. We're going to be running low on 68. The rear is off completely because, again, it's just me. I can't find a way to shut off the passenger vent. I believe in like Model 3 Highland, there's a way to push and hold and shut this off. And again, no one's in the seat over here. It's unbuckled, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Somehow the heated seat made its way on. Maybe I was hitting buttons. But we'll at least move that vent towards me, perhaps. I don't know. It doesn't really matter from an efficiency standpoint too much. But there's the climate stuff. We'll run 68 on auto. We're just getting close to that top charge range, like I mentioned. if I come here to the dynamic section, we're going to be running everything in the most efficient setting. Now, chill mode isn't necessarily going to help with efficiency, but we are going to run chill, relaxed on the suspension, and the lowest ride height possible. So, yep, that's what we're doing. Hey, dude. Guys, there's a viewer over here, Hugh, Model Y driver, absolutely epic, who saw us live streaming and came by and brought us this much better camera mount, and we're just going to tape it to the dash here so it doesn't rattle around. Again, I brought a really nice suction cup. I don't really know where any of it is, but I think this is much better than stuffing it into the tow rope. So epic to the Hugh is the hero. That guy's epic. He's going to give us a great live stream. Can't thank him enough. We have just completed at 100% state of charge. I just shut off climate control. It completed at 318 miles, so I think we can be pretty sure that that is its rated range. Let's unplug, double check all the settings, and then head out on the loop. Yeah. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to come here. I want to go to trips. I'm going to reset trip A. Boom. And in the dynamic setting, we're going to go custom, acceleration and chill, ride and handling relaxed, and ride height and low. I do have apply brakes when regenerative braking is limited because I actually want to coast if the battery can't accept regen like it can't right now. You can see regenerative braking temporarily limited. That's very typical when you're at 100%. You can't put any more energy in a full battery pack. We're going to run 68 degrees on automatic low setting. The rear, let's just confirm, is off. We're going to shut these cabin lights off for an extra half a mile of range. We're going to put this thing into drive, and we are heading off on the loop. So it looks like this might be the best way to head out. And there's Hugh taking a photo. We'll see you later, dude. Bye-bye. Epic. Let's do it. We are off on the range test. I've just pulled out of the parking lot. This is all the regen we get at 100%. It's enough to bring us to a stop here, and you can see we have some regen dots down here indicating we're at, again, full juice. We'll get through the red light and merge on the highway, get up to 70 miles an hour, and again, starting this test at almost 1 in the morning, there will be no traffic, which is really epic. The ambient lighting looking cool. The steer-by-wire is so interesting. Again, watch our whole driving review to learn more about steer-by-wire and what happens and when. And we are going to head out onto the highway and see how this thing does. Just so you guys can see, this is the regular headlights and this is the high beams. I would say definitely not impressing me after driving this vehicle at night twice. The headlights seem, I don't want to say inadequate, but certainly not class leading in any way. So not digging that. Let's merge on the highway. We have just merged on the highway. We're at 70 miles an hour. Again, the Cybertruck at the time of this recording still does not have autopilot. So we are, having to manually steer. We do have traffic aware cruise control. Does it tell you if you hit a line? Let's see. Merging over. Ooh, does not seem to. I just was able to go over there. So we're going to pay full attention, as we always do while driving, even with driver assistance systems, cruising down the road here in the Cybertruck. And I just have to say the headlights, yeah, we're in a little bit of a well-lit area. Let's get out to a darker area to double test, but the headlights are not giving me all the confidence in the world right off the bat. So we have some more testing to do. We have dark Texas roads we can bring it to, but these things are not looking amazing at first glance. Guys, I think it's official. I'm gonna move to Austin, Texas and use this toll road as my main testing road. This is like a NASA landing strip, straight, flat. You can go forever. I don't even need auto steer because what do I need to steer for? The Cybertruck does it all on its own because we don't have to turn. I will say there is a slight vibration at 70 miles an hour in this truck that I haven't I haven't been in any of the other Cybertrucks. We have a couple others this week, but this one has just a minimal vibration at 70. It doesn't seem too bad, but just something I wanted to note. We're cruising down the road now. We're at 93% state of charge. All is good. And this is Gigafactory, Texas, where this truck was just built. And so cool that we're actually able to drive by Giga Texas on our range test loop. Look at this building. I was just here for the Cybertruck delivery event, and now we're back again. This is so neat. Really cool to be able to be cruising by this place. You join me at 90% state of charge now as we are passing Circuit of the Americas, one of my favorite tracks. We're going well under the speed limit here on the toll road. This is a gorgeous road, absolutely amazing road infrastructure here. And we are 27 miles into our test. And again, it's still too early to tell a round trip range estimate or efficiency estimate, but we're hovering around 2 miles per kilowatt hour, 500 watt hour per mile, which for a truck this big seems right on par. That seems normal. My Rivian typically is under 2 miles per kilowatt hour. I'm also typically driving faster than 70 miles per hour. But one day, as soon as we can get back to Colorado, I'll be running a Rivian, Lightning, and Cybertruck in a row on the same road, of course, doing all the efficiency testing for you guys. But what I want to do is just focus on the Cybertruck in this video and just this particular trim level. We have so much Cybertruck testing to do into the future. So yeah, I just wanted to get a range test calculated. So let's focus on that one right now. Guys, we have looped around. We're heading in the other direction. I think we found ourselves a pretty good loop back and forth. We are at 75% state of charge and we have traveled 62 miles, 498 watt hour per mile. We've used 31 kilowatt hours to go 62 miles. Again, we're talking truck stuff here. This is a beefy truck on all terrains. This is all looking very as expected for me. So yeah, let's continue. I'm assuming that these results won't vary too much. They've stayed very consistent so far. Temperatures are holding steady in the very high 40-degree range, and there is no wind. It is pretty much a still night tonight, which is wonderful for these testing procedures. So let's continue. You join me for the 50% state of charge update. We've already looped back maybe 5-10 miles ago where we started. We've traveled 120 miles at 498 watt hour per mile. Again, usually with Tesla, the discharge curves are not linear, so I don't think we can just double that number, but maybe we'll be able to. We'll definitely have to see. And 70 miles an hour, cruising along, of course. Conditions are quite chilly, 43 degrees, but it's holding constant. And, you know, 500 watt hour per mile at 70 in colder temperatures doesn't seem too terrible, to be honest. Especially considering the fact that we have the all-terrain tires on this one. So I would say we're not looking like 300 miles is anywhere near in the realm of possibility. Will it break 250? That's an interesting question, because there's going to be a buffer below zero that I'm definitely going to use. I want to do fair to the Cybertruck, but man, time will tell, that's for sure. This is the high beam button here on the steering wheel. When I click it, the headlights go super bright, but when I let go, they stay on high beams, but you can see they got a little bit dimmer. Here, I'll demonstrate again. Pushing and holding with high beams on, and then when it goes to auto high beams, it stays in high beam mode, but it does dim slightly. So very, very interesting behavior. I don't know what's happening where when I hold the button down, the lights look great. That's what I'm looking for. And then when I lift off, well, in this case, auto high beams shut off the high beams, but it dims just slightly. Weird. It's like you get a little boost on the high beam when you hit the button. That is, you know, in my Model S, sometimes the button changes a little bit of the angle of the high beam. It just drives me insane. But if you want the full boost, you got to hold the high beam down to see everything. Pretty interesting. You guys join me cruising along now where I've just missed our 25% check-in, and we're actually just dipped from 24 to 23%. I really apologize for that. 184 miles traveled, 91 kilowatt hours. Again, it's just sitting at 2 miles per kilowatt hour roughly, or 497 to 500 watt hour per mile. We're going to keep looping around and run it down. Drew should be on his way out this way in the truck to rescue us for when we die. And I can't wait to see what the heck happens here. 15% state of charge now. No degradation of performance. We have no dots over here. Very similar to Model Y 4680. These things make good power down to low state of charge. We've driven 203 miles now with 15% remaining. We're used 102 kilowatt hours and averaging 500 watt hour per mile. The live stream has been knowledgeable and inquisitive. A lot of questions about Well, what happens when you plug it into a V4 supercharger? And we talk about how there's no such thing at the moment. There's just V4 dispensers. The chargers are actually identical to V3 at the time of this recording. I hope that changes soon. And a lot of questions about 4680 charging performance and what improvements there could be. And I really hope there are some, with this being the Gen 2.3 cell with a similar charging curve to the Gen 1 Model Y 4680 cell. I'm hoping Tesla can improve this cell. Of course, everyone's hoping they can improve it because the charging is, I would say, not abysmal. It's not terrible. We're not talking Bolt, but we're talking for a truck, it's not great. And I'm going to have a whole charging analysis coming in a future video for you guys that explains all of the nerdy details about charging, communications, what's going on with the CCS protocols, etc., etc. So much to get into with you guys. Well, we've gone to the edge of the toll road yet again, and I think we're going to be on our final loop heading back to the charger. We'll probably go past the charger, make one last turn, and then try and run out as close to the charger as we can, but we're certainly going to run out. So here's how we get back on the highway. We turn left on south on 130, that's correct. This is kind of confusing, and I guess we just go straight back the way we came. So let's do it, and here we are heading back at 13% state of charge. You join me at 10% state of charge. This is when shit gets real, technical term. We have traveled 215 miles. We're gonna run it till it dies. I wanna use up this buffer. Let's see how much is in there, and let's really give this thing a fair shot at 70 miles an hour. It's only fair. It's how we should be testing vehicles, and it's how we're going to be testing this one. The next mile from now is in 9.7 miles. We have 4% state of charge. How it thinks we're gonna get back at 1%, I'm not totally sure. But if that's the case, I'm going to go another exit past. We're going to go as far as we can, so we hopefully run out as close to the supercharger as possible. That is the plan. So we are going to be taking this exit here. 16 miles left. We're at 3%. Again, I do believe that there's a pretty significant buffer since we've only used 116 kilowatt hours. So I think this is a reasonable place to turn around. Let's head the other way. We have exited the highway, and I am booking it down this back road to maintain speed. But yeah, we just are, I guess, having to loop on this side of the highway, go back up one exit, and then we'll get back on the toll road. All should be good. And yep, this looks like maybe 1 mile back in this direction. We're back on the highway. All is nice. I wish I had taken a smoother exit than this one, but yeah, I think this will work just a-okay. Actually, this is not a totally bad road to even turn it all the way, run it all the way out if we wanted to do that here, because we're at, again, same elevation as where we started. So that could be something we should experiment with as well if we wanted to, but I think we can make it back to the charger. 1% state of charge, and it's, yeah, 14 miles to the charger. I don't know. I think we can go at least quite a bit of distance back in the direction, and we should probably do that. We have just had our first power limit just popping up here at 1% state of charge. Again, we still have 12 miles left to go. I want to use up as much of the buffer as possible, but again, we are planning to run this truck until it dies. So 1% state of charge, still cruising at 70, back on the toll road. And again, as soon as I feel like it's about to die, we'll hook it up and tow it up. We are at 0% state of charge, 1 mile remaining at the moment. Still very, very little power limit, looking like there's plenty left in the Cybertruck. We've only used 119 kilowatt hours so far. And again, this thing's supposed to be 123. It's only 11 miles left to the charger. I'm thinking it's possible we make it. Worst case, we tow it up, but I'm really curious to see what happens. This is fascinating. Really, really fun stuff. Here we are, 0 miles, 0%, completely dead, cruising along, still at 70, not much of a power limit. You can see our range so far. I'm really hoping that we hit that next big crossover number. Time will tell. 9 miles left to the charger. Let's see what happens. We can see the power limit is creeping slightly, and we have used 122 kilowatt hours at the moment, but it is still chugging along and moving along. So I'll keep you updated as to what happens. but we are still driving at 70. And we have used, 122 kilowatt hours of the claimed 123 kilowatt hour battery pack. So we've got a couple kilowatt hours past zero. And we're 4.7 miles away from the charger. So this was timed pretty good, actually. Still cruising at 70. Oh, losing speed, 68, 67. On the uphill, I'm going to kick it off autopilot. Just wanted to hit it with a little bit of regen. 63. That's full throttle. There's not much left in there. We just need it to go one more mile. Come on, baby. We need the number. We're going to pop all the way in the right lane. There's really nothing left at the moment in this one. Just trying to juice it with a little regen. Oh no, nothing left. I'm gonna pull off here at 428A just so we can get it all hooked up and ready. But this is it. This is the end of the Cybertruck range test. I'm full throttle. There's nothing left in this thing. I'm just hitting it with a bit of regen, and I really don't, I want to make sure that we're out of the way, of course, for when this thing eventually dies. So let's just merge over, get up here. Let's see what's around. Let me check plug share. Maybe there's even a level 2 around. You join me still underway, where we're just driving this thing down at low speed and cruising out to 0 miles an hour or so. Or sorry, 0% state of charge. We may as well run until it dies. There's actually some Volta chargers right here. There's one right here and one right there. So I figured we could just drive around them all until it completely dies out, see how many kilowatt hours we pull out of it, and then do a bit of a capacity test like I promised you guys in the beginning of this video, and not chicken out, and then we'll pull it with the the other vehicle. So let's just keep it moving. We are just driving around the mall now to drain it out to 0. We do have a slight oncoming traffic situation to deal with here, which I wasn't totally expecting. But Drew's behind me now, so as soon as this thing dies, we can hook it up and pull it over to the Volta chargers that are right over here. So that'll work out great, and that way we get a full range number. This is pretty consistent with running our cars down on the frontage roads, except we're running it down in an empty mall parking lot. It looks like we're having a Cybertruck diesel truck chasing down a Cybertruck. So the last loop on this stretch, we could do 35. Now we're limited at 30 miles an hour. Oh, we hit 31 for a second and then it came back down. Maybe the next loop, it'll only do 25 miles an hour. Let's see. I'm not sure. It's definitely losing power, but man, they really feel like they're letting me use all of the bottom buffer. I mean, that's pinned right there. I'm trying to drain it gently so that we truly can get everything out of this one. So, yeah, man, steer-by-wire is so nice in a parking lot, though. So nice. 124 kilowatt hours used. Just, again, trying to be gentle on the throttle. But, yeah, now we're down to 25 miles an hour, roughly, and that's with some downhill. Oh, this is great. This is so fun. This is the maximum speed we can travel here now. That's wide open. 23 miles an hour. So yeah, every time we come through we lose, but that's full throttle. That is everything it's got. I want to hit a little regen in there just to wake it up. Pulling out all the stops to get the biggest number here. We're only a couple miles away from where we started, elevation being the same, and with no wind, this is a really awesome test. I'm thrilled with this result here, but it hasn't shut off yet. It's just going very slowly. That's full throttle. We're now at 15 miles an hour as the maximum speed we can travel. 16, 17. Should we go for one more? What do you live stream viewers think? One more? One more? Yes. Let's freaking send it. 10, 12 miles an hour is all it will do. 13. We're going all the way. We got the tow truck right behind us. And we got chargers right here that we're going to plug it right into. So, oh, it says vehicle shutting down. Vehicle shutting down. Pull over safely. So it's giving me no power. It says pull over safely. Vehicle shutting down. The whole screen going red. Cool. That's kind of nice. Oh, man. Maintaining 20 miles an hour on the downhill, though. Flashing red now. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the parking lot. Still moving. Full throttle. It's got no power. Yeah, it's not outputting anything. This is just coasting at the moment. We used 124 kilowatt hours. We're going to have to tow it with the truck. What's going to happen when it comes to a stop? I'm keeping my foot welded to the floor at the moment just to see what happens. And yeah, so you can see my foot is right full throttle. Oh. Speed limited, 27 miles an hour. Steer by wire is getting heavy. Oh, wow. The steering is heavy, but it's working. And rear steer seemingly is working. But it feels like the force feedback has gotten heavier. Whoa. This is where it ends. The range test for the Cybertruck. Critical steering issue. No worry. It's just probably... And that's it. It didn't put itself in park as soon as it did there. Charge immediately. We will. Let's go plug this thing in. Okay. That's it. Let's hook her up. You know, you think your diesel truck can help this old electric thing over here? Okay, and now all the warnings seemingly went away. So yeah, let's put it, let's do all the things we need to do. Crack this, open the frunk just in case we need to get up to it. All the loads are off. I'm gonna shut the lights off in the cabin. So these, we wanna go headlights off, dome lights off, accent lights off, screen brightness to 0. Okay, just to conserve mid-voltage battery pack. And yeah, let's hook this thing up, tow it in. We lost the live stream because I ran away to pee, but I actually didn't pee because I forgot to put it in tow mode. But we got it in towing mode now. So you just go to service to transport mode. The Cybertruck is rolling and the steering works. It's just a little bit heavier steering than normal. And yeah, I think this should work great actually. We'll just go around that hitch. We only have to move it, I don't know, quarter of a mile at the most. So we have everything opened up. We have the parking brake released, even if the 48 volt system dies, which I imagine that has pretty good longevity. In the service mode, I found out that the 48 volt system is a 100 watt hour battery pack, which is pretty good. You may even want to just go through the recovery hook and back to your truck.
Oh, that makes sense.
And just do a loop back to the trailer hitch on that thing. If we can kind of push her through.
A little small.
It's a little small, yeah. You're actually moving the truck there. Here, I can help you pull it through. I'm prepared. Rhino USA. Not sponsored, but they did send us that for free for our overlanding channel, so I feel like thank you guys. I get a lot of use. I get a lot of use out of this tow strap. So cool. Really interesting, Drew. The steering got pretty heavy, but it still worked.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave the
what the 48 volts battery's at.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in service mode as soon as possible, but let's just pull it over there first.
Sounds good.
Okay, here we go. And yep, horn works. So we're good. And he's just loading us up here. Transport mode is on. Pulling up the front camera so we can see straps coming. And we're good. He's pulling us over to the charger. This is great. Do the brakes work? Yes. Actually, it just put itself into park. Oh, we probably went too fast. Car must be in park. Transport mode. We just have to go slow or it puts itself in park. Is there it doesn't say the maximum speed, but it is just for free rolling. Okay. And we have made it. We pulled the truck over here to the charging station. I'm gonna open up the charging port. There it goes. I'm gonna grab the J1772 adapter that I know is in here somewhere. Oh my God, imagine we forgot it. That would be a freaking disaster. and then we're going to charge this thing. Let me see if I can find it. The cool dude was just charging his Model 3 over here and had a J1772 adapter because I think I left the one from this in the Model X. I'm dumb. And it's charging.
Hell yeah.
Epic!
Like your first one, is this yours?
No, we're actually just testing it. We pulled it over here with the diesel. That worked out pretty well, but every 100, 200 feet, and then it seemingly got shorter as time went on.
What was it? Just putting the parking brake on and just...
It was just like beep, 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 parking brake.
Yeah. Yeah, and it seemed like if we went a little bit slower, maybe it wasn't doing it, but yeah.
Like under 1 mile an hour, it was fine. So we just creeped it over here.
Yeah.
Steering worked great, even with the high voltage battery down. Well, guys, just to wrap up the video and share my final thoughts, the Cybertruck did 254 miles at 70 miles an hour. We used 124 kilowatt hours indicated on the screen. Now, Tesla claims 123 kilowatt hour battery pack. Close enough. We're relying on in-car sensors to calculate energy, but I feel like that's pretty accurate. Also, sometimes Tesla vehicles don't calculate HVAC use when in park, but we were in drive the whole time, so all looks good. And we were just about 490 watt hour per mile, 488 at the end. But again, we drove 70 the entire way on the highway. We were at probably 490, 495. Realistically, there was just a tiny bit of elevation. By the time we finished the loop, we're, again, just about 2 miles per kilowatt hour, not quite 2.1. And my impression of the efficiency is, the truck is way bigger than the Rivian. It doesn't seem like it's as big as the Lightning. I actually have a 3-truck comparison coming for you in just a couple days, so stay tuned. Still more Cybertruck videos coming on the channel. You won't believe it. And it was really a good size vehicle. It's got a very usable bed. It's got a much larger cab than the Rivian. And for it to pretty much match the efficiency, we really need to run them all side by side. But I would say I guess it is lower efficiency than the Rivian for sure. Now that I'm thinking about it, Rivian was doing like 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour at 70 miles an hour. Now keep in mind that it's really important that if we're going to start comparing the Cybertruck to Lightning, to Rivian, the Silverado, that we really should do a test where we run them all on the same day, on the same road conditions, at the same elevation, on the same loop. Because we tested the Cybertruck at 700 feet of elevation versus 5,000 feet of elevation, we have much less air density up where we do our range tests. So we will be running the Cybertruck again in our standardized loop in Colorado, but I wanted to run it there in Austin. It was really great conditions. Again, 40-degree-ish. It was cold outside, but heat pump, and we started with the battery warm. I really don't think the cold weather affected much from a thermal stress point on the vehicle, maybe just a few percent more than if it was a warm day, but the air density was a little bit dense, so okay. It's always, every test is never perfect, but I think we got a really, really good test here. So then becomes the question of, well, is that enough range? Well, I think the biggest problem with the Cybertruck for me personally is it's just not enough battery, especially for towing. For towing, you need raw energy. It doesn't matter how efficient the truck is, because if I got a really inefficient load on the back of this thing, I just need batteries in there. And 123 kilowatt hours, 124 kilowatt hours just isn't enough for real long distance towing. And that's my use case of an electric truck. Many people will just need a boat to tow the lake or need to cruise around town or do local chores, and that's totally fine, and certainly we'll be analyzing the charging curve. I'm excited for you guys to see all of that coming very soon. So I think there was a lot of articles off the live stream that I just really don't understand. People really jump to the gun on conclusions. It's like the Cybertruck doesn't match EPA range. It's like, no way, really? No Tesla ever does in our tests, except for the Model 3 rear-wheel drive LFP. That did. That was actually pretty impressive. But, this is a city and highway tests are for EPA. This is a highway-only cruising at highway speeds in a 6,600-pound truck on 35-inch tires getting 2 miles per kilowatt hour. I mean, the efficiency is not bad. The problem is it just doesn't have a big enough battery. So then, of course, range extender could be a topic, but doesn't exist yet. We haven't seen one in testing. We haven't figured out how they're going to do the whole service center swapping it out. I don't know. I'll just say I'm not banking on it. I'm hoping for it. I think it can make the truck a lot more useful, but it just doesn't feel like a very Tesla solution. By the way, I have a charging video coming very soon after this, and then after that, we have some more fun stuff on Cybertruck. Thank you for watching all the Cybertruck videos. Hopefully this range test clarifies some things that were left out of the live stream that so many people reported on, I would say, aggressively. I don't know. I'm not here to, like I said, I'm not here to make the truck look good or bad. It's just like, yeah, of course it didn't match EPA. We did not expect it to. 318 mile EPA. I really think, just for reference, the Lightning did 270 miles in this test, and the Rivian did 280 something on the all-terrain tires. But tires make such a huge difference in these tests. Wheels make such a huge difference. And of course, same day, same elevation. The only way to compare them is to get as equal truck optioned as possible and run them all at the same time. So we'll be doing that back in Colorado. Can't thank you enough for watching this one and joining me for a full range test. More content coming your way. See you on another one soon. Bye-bye.